Ladies and gents, this is UX and this is Why Does Belgium Exist? Short animated documentary by the channel History Matters. Why does Belgium exist? I don't know, because Germany needs a road to France, I guess. Or world needs waffles, I don't know. But yeah, I know there is a series called Why Does This Country Exist? I don't know how many videos he made. It's about Luxembourg too. Yeah, I wanted to watch that. I'm going to do that tomorrow, I guess. But yeah, let's do the Belgium one. Why does Belgium exist? A question which is often asked given its location between two historically annexed happy states. Yeah, it is linguistically divided population. If you want to find out why happy little Belgium became and managed to stay a thing, then watch this short and simple animated history documentary. Yeah, but let's watch it. I like History Matters, how basically it takes skill to basically explain something in this short time. This is 5 minutes, usually it's 3 and 4 minutes between, I guess. But yeah, that's what it.
Belgium. It's a country which often has to justify its own existence. Sandwiched between France, Germany and the Netherlands, its population is divided amongst those who speak, well, French, German and Dutch. Since about 6 seconds after its foundation, other nations have often spoke of dividing Belgium up. So given how often its existence has both been questioned and threatened, there's an obvious question to answer. Why does Belgium exist? The first thing to answer is how Belgium came into existence in the first place. After the Napoleonic Wars, Europe was a drastically changed continent, and one of the major changes that occurred was that the Austrian Netherlands was incorporated into the brand new United Kingdom of the Netherlands. King William I of the Netherlands was a Protestant who had little interest in preserving the rights of the South's Catholic residents. He used much of the South's industrialised economy to fund the North, and he was also a bit of a despot. This was obviously a problem, and in 1830, when riots broke out, talk soon turned to secession. William tried to crush the revolt, but many troops in the south quickly defected.
Yeah, okay, I can see that religious differences between South and North. How if you use the South's money to fund North, yeah, that would really piss off people. I mean, at the pubs probably there were many screamings for months before revolt happened. Yeah. Napoleon, yeah, this is interesting. Napoleon came and he just basically stirred things up, right? It took on many places, literally changed countries here and there, right? Created small states here and there and put his own relatives as kings or something.
William needed help, and so he asked the great powers for assistance. And the great powers did help, but they helped the South and recognised the new country's independence, and the new country was called Belgium. Recognition of independence was done on one condition. It had to be a monarchy, because none of that republicanism stuff, absolutely not. The Belgians would finally have a king that would represent them, a local, a Catholic, and a man who wouldn't try to expand the power of the monarchy and become a despot. Instead, they got Leopold I, a German-speaking Protestant who quickly expanded the power of the monarchy, but 0 out of 3 isn't bad. Even with Leopold, Belgium had come out ahead, given that at the London Conference, France had proposed that Belgium be divided between its neighbours. This was the Talleyrand plan and was rejected by the British because France can't have nice things had been British foreign policy for over 400 years at this point, yes. And that wasn't going to change anytime soon. Also to Britain, Belgium was seen as an important buffer state that would limit the scale of any future Franco-Prussian war, in theory. William I didn't accept Belgian independence and so invaded in 1831, but the French came to the Belgians' aid and sent the Dutch package.
Yeah, I mean, that's why, in World War I, basically, Britain, don't cross Belgium. Don't cross Belgium. I guess Belgium was always the, center, country. For Britain to make sure that there is no major movement happening, right? If you cross Belgium, that's it, we are at war.
In 1839, William accepted Belgian independence and the Netherlands would never again try to reclaim the south, which now included this land from Luxembourg. And it was also in this year that Britain guaranteed Belgian neutrality. Immediately after Belgium's formation, tensions arose between the Dutch-speaking population in the north, the Flemish, and the French-speaking southerners, the Walloons, whose language was the official language of the state. The initial hope was to get northerners over time to speak French, but fun fact, no. Tensions between the two groups would rise, but the threat to dissolve Belgium never went anywhere since both peoples largely saw unity within Belgium as better than the alternatives. So what about any future threats? Finding out why Belgium exists in the first place isn't the same as asking why it still exists. And the fledgling nation wasn't without its concerns. French and German leaders coveted parts of Belgium in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, but the British guarantee and a fear of upsetting the balance of power stopped any action. It wasn't until World War I that the second tangible threat to Belgium's existence occurred when German troops crossed into the country in order to get to France. Germany occupied most of the country, and after
what the best thing about that is Britain sent out the message like, if you go through Belgium, we are at war. Germany didn't even respond to that. They just walked past like, oh, okay.
The war, the plan was for these areas to be annexed into Germany, and these areas would become a rump state under a new monarchy. Towards the end of the war, Germany made a concession on these demands and would respect Belgian independence so long as it was split into two nations, the Northern Flemish one being aligned with Germany, who would gain Antwerp. This never happened because, obviously, and Germany eventually lost the war. Belgium then got to sit at the winners' table and was even given this territory from Germany. Although at first Belgium had made much larger demands, because it wanted to annex Luxembourg and to take territory from the neutral Dutch, since apparently Belgium holds a grudge. The last threat to Belgian existence came during World War II when it was conquered. It was originally administered as a single unit along with a chunk of northern France, but Hitler had very little in the way of concrete plans. The Belgian collaborators had hoped for Belgium to be split like this, with Flanders being merged with the Netherlands. Yet Germany was unwilling and unable to do this since it was busy losing the war. In late 1944, Germany then formally annexed Belgium, a plan which had one snag: it had already been liberated, and so that's not how that works. No other nation would threaten Belgian existence thereafter, and all attempts to split the state would from then on be internal in nature. Belgium's existence is actually quite remarkable, given that it spent one of the most dangerous periods in European history sandwiched between two nations that really liked annexing things.
Yeah, but that's not the thing. You see, that France and Germany has, common border there. But since France built forts just there, not at the Belgium side, Belgians were kind of fucked, right? I mean, they should have known, like, okay, if there's somebody rises in Germany, they are going through us.
In the end, the Belgian people would find union together, despite their differences, much more compelling than any of the alternatives, and that is why Belgium exists. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and a special thanks to my Patreon supporters.
Oh, there you go. Right, fight here and there, something religious purposes, then political purposes, geopolitical purposes, wars happen, and there you go, Belgian state. I guess Luxembourg's gonna have the same kind of history to it, right? But I definitely want to see that because Luxembourg is really small. Right, I said in one of the videos, I remember seeing one of the stats from FIFA, how Luxembourg gets same amount of money as all the other countries, while Luxembourg has close to, not much of population there compared to others. So yeah. Right, well, that was Why Does Belgium Exist by the channel History Matters, right? I like this channel so far. Every, video is kind of small, but it explains it, smoothly. It's not like, fast summary or something. Somehow they crams the information in this time period, and it's always fun. I've done I've done a few History Matters videos already. If you haven't seen them, check out the link in the description with my channel. I guess there you'll find it, right? And I'm pretty sure I've done one long before. I don't know if I can find it. It's way too many videos on my channel. But yeah, all right, I guess I'll see you next time.